Hello, I'm Mike Gora. Welcome back to my perfect playthrough of Pokemon Gold and Silver for the Game Boy Color. And last time we had caught quite the haul of Pokemon. Furret, it evolved a ton of Pokemon as well. We cleared our phone numbers and it's just barely 2 minutes till 4, so it's barely nighttime. It's time to get. I already did some off-screen grinding with the duplications and the stat boosting glitch, so it's time to see the results. I'm going to evolve Eevee into Umbreon first because I want to get that one out of the way before night turns into morning. And then Togepi, obviously, into Togetic. Now, they weren't quite there yet for max happiness. What I did was, while using the duplication glitch, I actually went to the Goldenrod department store, 4th floor, bought 20 of each vitamins except for HP ups, which I was already maxed out on. Fed Zubat 10 HP ups, and Eevee and Togepi already had were already fed 10 HP ups, so I just gave them 20. Gave them 10 proteins, irons, carbos, and calciums respectively, in order to close the gap, which is why I was able to fully evolve them into Eevee and Umbreon with just one rare candy. And by the way, I did a ton of duplications. So this is my first time registering these Pokemon in the Pokedex for real. I already got their these forms in their, most of these forms in their second stage. Most of these 3-stage evolutions, well, the 3-stage evolutions, I already got them to their second stages, but this is their first time being officially added to the Pokedex. So Gastly evolved into a Haunter. Now, note that Silver is a bit ahead of Gold, but the two games are basically going to remain neck and neck the whole way through. Gonna get a rare candy. Just remove the rare candies that I just fed these Pokemon to evolve them exactly one evolution stage. And now I'm gonna move these fully evolved Pokemon to their rightful places in the PC boxes. Such as Umbreon being in box 181 through 200, bottom of that. I actually decided to move in Silver version, I decided to move Togetic into the reserve box. The reserve box is for my main party as well as any new captures, so I could relocate them to a new PC box. So I already have a second Golbat at level 22, a second Pidgeot at level 35, and a second Skiploom at level 26. Because all three of them, and a second Eevee that also has fully maxed out their affection values. That Golbat, Tao, I have 3 Eevees actually. The third Eevee I will hold on to until I get my hands on the evolution stones. Meantime, I'm just gonna go move all the Pokemon to their rightful spots in the PC. And Silver's already beginning the evolutions for the third stage evolutions, as well as the second Eevee. 2 minutes had 5 minutes had already passed, which is well over 2 minutes. It's now morning. It's no longer night, it's morning. Which is really odd, because even in Colorado, I don't think I've ever saw daylight at 4 p.m. Not even during daylight savings. Dead of the summer daylight savings. Graveler and Furret. Now Golbat's evolving into Crobat. In both games, Sentret into Furret, Geodude to Graveler, Pidgeotto into Pidgeot, Eevee into Espeon, and Skiploom hasn't evolved yet. That's interesting. We will. It's evolving into Jumpluff. Now, technically, all the second stage evolutions are available in the wild, but apart from Pidgeotto, it won't be till much later before I can catch them. However, the third stage evolutions, no, you will never be able to find a wild version of those 3 Pokemon. Jumpluff, Pidgeot, or what was the other one? Crobat. You'll never find wild versions of those 3 Pokemon anywhere. And of course, I get to remove their rare candies to add them back into my inventory. And I'll read Silver's Pokedex entries first. Immobilizes its prey using well-developed claws, and carries the prey more than 60 miles to its nest. It spreads its beautiful wings wide to frighten its enemies. It can fly at Mach 2 speed. And it can drink more than 10 ounces of blood at once. If it has too much, it gets heavy and flies clumsily. And Gold will read their Pokedex entries at the end of the episode. A slow walker, it rolls smooth. It pays no attention to any object that happens to be in its path. Its tongue is made of gas. If licked, its victim starts shaking constantly until death eventually comes. There's that D word! You can't say death in Pokemon, you'll be sent to the Shadow Realm. There is no telling where the tale begins. Despite its short legs, it is quick at hunting Rattata. And the development of wings on its legs enables it to fly fast, but also makes it tough to stop and rest. It grows dispirited if it is not with kind people. It can float in midair without moving its wings. And it spreads its petals to absorb sunlight. It also floats in the air to get closer to the sun. Drifts on seasonal winds and spreads its cotton-like spores all over the world to make more offspring. And by reading air currents, it can predict things such as the weather or its foe's next move. When darkness falls, the rings on the body begin to glow, striking fear in the hearts of anyone nearby. And I think that's it for all the new evolutions. Gold's heading down to speak to Mana to bring back daylight savings? I guess kind of pedantic that way. Yes, Mom will continue saving up money for us. So we need to win a few outdoor battles in order to trigger all the necessary purchases from Mom. So, Silver's still reading Pokedex entries, so it's now time for him to actually make party arrangements. It's kind of slow, and my routing here is kind of slow in Silver version. It's not gonna matter much because both games are gonna end up finishing at about the same time today. Alright. And I want Ampharos on my team because Ampharos is pretty damn good with quite the diverse moveset. If you're willing to teach him TMs. Luckily I maxed out all my TMs thus far, so it's all fair game in my book. Moving for Alligator to the front of my party. Obviously I want Quilava and Meganium here. Ampharos and Gyarados and Togetic are for HM purposes. Gyarados has access to Strength, Togetic can fly now. He can learn Fly. And Ampharos is my 4th battler. And we'll be seeing a ton of action in today's episode alongside Feraligatr. Most of the trainers here have Pokemon that are weak against water or electricity. And both Quilava and Meganium are at a decently high level as is, so I want to spread the love around. Now that I'm no longer confined to a bunch of level up evolutions, I can actually start molding my team in preparation for the Elite Four. Now I don't know if I intend on keeping all of my starters as my main party members. I might have to change things up a bit for the end game. So Silver's gotta teach Togetic Fly. Togetic knows Growl and Charm. Both reduce the attack stat. Charm by 2 stages, so Growl's useless. I taught Feraligatr Ice Punch. Just checking for Thunder Punch. Nope. Just Ampharos, but he already knows Thunder Punch. He learned upon it evolving, so I'll teach him Fire Punch instead, and I'll replace Thunder Shock. And one last move to teach him is Dynamic Punch. It's the only Flying type move I have access to at this point in time. But Dynamic Punch kicks ass. Absolutely kicks ass. Well, assuming that you want to put up with 50% accuracy. But I'm emulating, so I get to manip the RNG, so my attacks always land. I'm basically treating the move like it's the OTK attacks like Horn Drill and Fisher from Generation 1, except not as reliable. So, I actually forgot to take this route last time. I took this route from Violet City through Route 32 so I could talk to Frieda of Friday, since today is Friday. Friday in-game anyways. Which basically means that Silver's taken the long way around, whereas Gold took the shortcut from Azalea Town. In hindsight, I should have taken, I probably should have just taken, Ampharos all the way to, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I probably should have just taken Gold the same route the first time. But don't worry, I'll be sure to grab the Poison Barb from Frieda of Friday. There's an elixir and it's... interestingly enough, one of the only items in this section in the newly accessible regions of Union Cave. And it's something I kind of appreciate about Gen 2's world design is there's definitely a bunch of branching paths to take that one should take into consideration when it comes to branching paths and new discoveries to make. With red, blue, and yellow, pretty much the only major discoveries in terms of new locations you need to revisit would be places like Seafoam Islands, the Power Plant, and Cerulean Cave. Maybe bits and pieces of Safari Zone and Route 12. So Ampharos is gonna be battling all the cool trainers here. And also battle the second Pokemaniac with the Kangaskhan because Ampharos is the only one with a super effective attack. But I only gave Ampharos a single super potion. Using Fire Punch here. Yeah, I don't need to use Dynamic Punch on any of these baby starters. I just need to use Thunder Punch or whatever one has, whichever punch the Pokemon are weak to. So Silver's Ampharos is gonna use Dynamic Punch. I keep getting hit with critical hit Mega Punches, which is annoying. So I'm battling this cool trainer who uses each of the Gen 1 evolutions. Eevee and each of the Gen 1 evolutions, so no Espeon or Umbreon. Which is what I already have. For Alligator, use Surf. Ampharos, use Thunder Punch. And just to prove that there's nothing there, which leaves the question, what's the point of this plot of land if there's nothing there? Alright. With Dynamic Punch, followed up by Fire Punch here. Punch. Nice, very nice. Cool. Wow. So there's one more cool trainer left for us to fight, and this one's the most disappointing. Why? Well, let's take a look. She has one Pokemon, and what could it be? Just a Poliwhirl. But on the bright side, Poliwhirl's faster than Ampharos, and Poliwhirl here uses Rain Dance. Silver's just gonna be using the same strategies Gold used earlier. As Silver plays catch up after reading all the Pokedex entries. And because today is Friday, we gotta catch up Lapras. Yay! This Lapras only appears on Friday, once every Friday. So once you catch it, or faint it, or run away from it, it disappears and you won't get another chance at it until the very next Friday. They have gentle hearts. Because they rarely fight, many have been caught. Their number has dwindled. So now, I'm going to be using a repel here. Now, our moms cannot buy any items for us at this point in time because we are inside a cave, and caves don't have very good phone receptions. I should know, my mom got lost in a cave for over 48 hours. Anyways, now that I caught Lapras, it's now time to for the feature presentation, the Ruins of Alph themselves. Now, unlike in Crystal version, I don't need to catch all 26 forms of this particular Pokemon. I just need to catch one, and that's it. Crystal actually adds an expanded Pokedex revealing all the alternate for us to capture all the alternate forms for this Pokemon. You sure? I bet you all know what I'm talking about. And for those of you who don't, I'll give you a hint. They were the co-stars alongside Entei in the third Pokemon movie. That's a film about childhood trauma. And dealing with the loss of your parents. Your mom abandoned you, and then your father disappeared and is presumed on an exhibition and is presumed dead. There is a reason why a number of people actually consider the third Pokemon movie to be their favorite, or even the most mature of the Pokemon movies. So, Feraligatr is gonna deal with the rest of the trainers here in Union Cave, since we know entering the other expanded parts. So we can explore all 4 puzzle rooms of the Ruins of Alph. So this will be Ampharos' last serious battle, and then Feraligatr will just take over the rest of the way. Silver's about to catch Lapras here, so I will be ready to read it. read Silver's Pokedex entry for this Pokemon. Luckily, the routing for this went really well, so I can read the 2 Pokedex entries at my own pace. And this is the last trainer we will be fighting the rest of this episode. Alright, time of Silver's entry. It ferries people across the sea on its back. It may sing an enchanting cry if it is in a good mood. Alright, and oh yeah, there's also grass for us to capture Pokemon in, and we need to make 2 captures in this patch of grass. Alright. Alright. So, because I sent our mom 22,700 gil every time. From now on, pretty much whenever we earn any amount of money, she will call us and inform us that she spent all our money on some stuff, and we need to get all of Mom's purchases in order to achieve a perfect playthrough. Gotcha! We got Natu! Because its wings aren't yet fully grown, it has to hop to get around. It is always staring at something. And I actually had to manipulate this Natu to be level 24. But there's still one more poke, so it will be ready to evolve with just a single rare candy. But now we need preferably a Male Smeargle, and the reason for this, Smeargle has access to a move called Sketch. It's the only move he can learn naturally, and what it does is it copies and automatically learns a move that was just used previously. It has 1 PP, and he relearns. Special fluid oozes from the tip of its tail. It paints the fluid everywhere and marks its territory. And what it does is, it has 1 PP, but what it does is, it sketches a move that was used against it, and learns this new move in its place. And every time he levels up, he will and every time Smeargle levels up afterwards, he will relearn Sketch. This is good because this actually makes Smeargle the single best breeding Pokemon outside of Ditto, for the simple reason that he can learn just about any move with Sketch and can pass those moves down to future offspring as egg moves. Anyways, this puzzle used to cause all sorts of troubles for me as a kid. The Ho-Oh puzzle specifically. There are strange presence there. Well, we solved that puzzle, but I want to dig out of there so we can go to the next Ruins of Alph puzzle room without I need to detour through Union Cave again. So through all intents and purposes, this will be my very last time that I will be cutting through Union Cave in the entire playthrough of Gold or Silver version. Just keep running into random battles. Now that was a misclick. I wanted to go with Bite in Silver version, not Surf. But this pans out well because apparently Surf deals more damage against Girafarig than a super effective Bite. The reason for this is because Feraligatr has Stab Off Surf, not Bite. So it deals even more damage than super effective Bite does. Anyway, same old, I'm going to manip the encounter, so I run into a level 24 Natu, and then a level and then a Male Smeargle. Natu evolves at level 25, that's why I caught them at level 24. It usually forages for food on the ground, but may, on rare occasions, hop onto branches to peck at shoots. And now, our second to last sweet scent in this entire episode. So every time I solve a puzzle, I will use Dig to get out of there instead of heading to the ladder. That way I have quick access to each of the puzzle rooms. Anyways, we're about to read Smeargle's Pokedex entry. Once it becomes an adult, it has a tendency to let its comrades plant footprints on its back. That's called a fetish, by the way. Very weird fetish. So, the tricky thing with the Ho-Oh puzzle that gave me such a hard time is, sure, it's sort of easy to figure out the outlines, but then it goes to the middle 4 blocks and the bottom 2 blocks that just throw you off. No matter what you do, because you have no idea what they're supposed to be. It's a very crude, it's a mural of Ho-Oh, a legendary Pokemon that we haven't ran into yet. But by looking up an image, I was showing all the block placements, it becomes insanely easy. Now, in order to keep this episode from having any potential overlaps with Gold version, I decided to use a sweet scent here to spawn an Unown. And honestly, it doesn't matter which Unown is the only Pokemon that you will find here, and you can only find an Unown in this room after solving a puzzle room. Its flat, thin body is always stuck on walls. Its shape appears to have some meaning. There are 26 forms of the Unown in Generation 2, 28 in future generations. And in Gold and Silver, and now in Pokemon Crystal, I do need to capture all 26 forms of Unown. But in Gold and Silver, that's not at all necessary. And because Gold had just finished its last puzzle, I'm going to try to run into an Unown naturally. There are 26 letters to collect, but we only need to collect one of them in Gold or Silver version. But I did use Sweet Scent in Silver version so the two games did not synchronize Pokedex entry readings. So now it's Gold's turn. Their shapes look like hieroglyphs on ancient tablets. It is said that the two are somehow related. Now, Unown can only be found in this chamber of the Ruins of Alph, this big chamber, if you solve one of the 4 puzzle rooms, and each puzzle room unlocks certain numbers of Unown letters. I don't have a full list up, but I think I have a general idea on what they might be. So this one puzzle was also fairly tricky as a kid, but at least I was able to solve it eventually. Growing up, on my own without any help. It was Ho-Oh that gave me so much problems and so much grief for so long. So Gold is actually going to go ahead and head down to Route 32 to pick up the Poison Barb, which I forgot. Oh yeah, there's a reason why. It's a happy coincidence that Frieda of Friday appears on Friday, which happens to be the same day that Lapras is available to capture. So I forgot if I now have the TM for Aurora or not, which is why I talked to him. So we're talking of Frieda of Friday for the Poison Barb, which powers up poison type moves. Now, what's interesting is I'm basically solving the puzzle rooms in reverse order. The hardest ones first, and then the easier ones. But we're about to wrap things up real soon. While I'm solving the Kabuto puzzle room, let's read some Pokedex entries. It has outstanding vision. However high it flies, it is able to distinguish the movements of its prey. Its well-developed chest muscles make it strong enough to whip up a gutsy windstorm with just a few flaps. And however hard its victim's hide may be, it punctures with sharp fangs and gorges itself with blood. With a free and uncaring nature, it doesn't mind if pieces break off while it rolls down mountains. In total darkness, where nothing is visible, Haunter lurks, silently stalking its next victim. And next up is... it makes a nest to suit its long and skinny body. The nest is impossible for other Pokemon to enter. Sure it is. It flies so silently through the dark on its four wings that it may not be noticed even when nearby. They say that it will appear before kind-hearted, caring people and shower them with happiness. The bloom on top of its head opens and closes as the temperature fluctuates up and down. Once it catches the wind, it deftly controls its cotton puff spores to float, even around the world. And finally, it uses the fine hair that covers its body to sense air currents and predict its enemies' actions. When agitated, this Pokemon protects itself by spraying poisonous sweat from its pores. And that's it for today. Next time, we are finally going to make forward progress in the story. We're taking on Rocket Hideout. Leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all out of the way, this is Mike Gorn signing out.